On command, the wife chops off her thumb and serves it to him to eat. She doesn't step back when her husband asks her to offer her liver, she does the same and takes her last breath. The film unfolds in 3 mysterious stories which shock your mind. The first story centers around a mysterious man known only as R.M.F, who arrives at a sprawling mansion. He is met by Vivian, who describes his arrival to her employer. By taking his picture, she has sent it to Raymond, who is curious to know his appearance. It looks as if something fishy is going on here. In reality, R.M.F has given them the task of taking his life because he is done with his pathetic existence. Meanwhile, Robert Fletcher crashes his van into a .M.F's car in what appears to be an orchestrated accident. Both men survive. Robert asks the nurse to take him to the hospital because his back is badly hurt and he wants to remain under observation. As his wounds aren't serious, he is asked to return home. After dealing with this accident, he moves to his house and takes a sound sleep. His wife Sarah is unaware of his accident. The next day, Sarah discloses that Raymond has sent the precious gift of a racket that she likes most. Just then, Sarah notices his wounds, but he calms her down by saying it's a minor accident, so she doesn't need to worry. Later, he reaches the office where Raymond, his boss, is waiting for him. Robert is a man under the thumb of Raymond, a domineering figure who not only controls Robert's work but also his personal life, including his marriage to Sarah. Raymond orders Robert to cause another accident that will kill R.M.F this time, revealing that R.M.F is complicit and wants to die. Robert's conscience does not allow him to take anyone's life, but Raymond gives him some time to think it over and let him know his decision at his house. After pondering, he reaches Raymond's house. Robert is repulsed by the idea of killing a man and refuses, which only serves to anger Raymond. Raymond asks him to leave his house and says they aren't connected anymore. Robert pleads not to be kicked out because of one refusal, but Raymond is persistent and he has to leave. Reaching home, he doesn't tell Sarah anything, but when he wakes up, he notices the racket has disappeared. Also, the main door is open and he knows only Raymond knows the code to this house. Shaken, Robert goes home and confesses to Sarah about Raymond's stranglehold on his life. Raymond has made his plan to divert Robert's attention to Sarah. Also, he hurts his hand to win Sarah's love. He reveals that Raymond didn't want them to have children, so he manipulated every pregnancy Sarah had, making her believe she suffered miscarriages when, in reality, doctors paid by Raymond performed secret abortions. Devastated, Sarah leaves Robert, who later learns she has quit her job and disappeared. Robert tries to find another job, but without Raymond's tag, he is not permitted to do the job. He has become a layman and has started selling the precious gifts given by Raymond. But the people who are here only offer $12,000 for these rare items. Robert has no choice except to make a deal with them. Robert starts to keep an eye on Raymond and gets to know Rita is with him. He meets Raymond and pleads for another chance. This time, he will not deny his task, but Raymond again leaves him to die. Desperate to get back into Raymond's good graces, Robert grovels pathetically but is rebuffed. He soon discovers that Raymond has moved on to controlling Rita, another victim of his manipulations. To get close to her, Robert injures himself and pretends to need her help. Rita's heart melts for him, and she takes him to the hospital. To offer gratitude, he brings flowers for her and invites her to dinner, but she doesn't arrive because she has suffered an accident. In reality, Rita, under orders from Raymond, stages a car accident with R.M.F, landing both in the hospital. When Robert moves to visit her in the hospital, he steals her house keys. Reaching her home, he finds the same racket that was gifted to him by Raymond. Seizing the opportunity, Robert disguises himself as a nurse and takes R.M.F from his hospital room. He coldly dumps him on the street and runs him over twice, completing the grim task. Back at Raymond's house, Robert is welcomed with open arms by Raymond and Vivian, who sings to them as if celebrating a macabre victory. The second story follows Daniel, a police officer struggling to cope with the mysterious disappearance of his wife Liz, a marine biologist. To overcome his grief, he leans on his friends, Neil and Martha, who support him through his difficult time. One night, they are having dinner and are missing Liz, who used to prepare mouth-watering dishes, and Daniel misses her a lot. Also, it's revealed that the relationship between Daniel, Liz, and their friends is complicated. Daniel's life takes a bizarre turn when he receives a call that Liz has been rescued, but something about her return doesn't feel right. Meanwhile, Sharon, another friend of Daniel's, also has her husband Jonathan returned from the same ill-fated trip, but he's suffering from severe brain damage. Doctors are not sure whether he will survive or not. When they reach home, Liz wants to try dessert and eats chocolate cake, which she doesn't like. At night, when Liz is getting dressed to join the gathering, her shoes don't fit her. After dinner, Liz wants to make love, but they are all too exhausted, so they refuse. Later, Martha and Liz go to wash the dishes. Daniel shares his doubts that Liz is not his wife because she was eating chocolate cake and her shoes don't fit her. For Neil, it's understandable because she has spent a terrible time on the island. The following day, Liz's attempts to love with Daniel that take a violent turn, including her demanding to be hit with his baton. Later, they go to visit Jonathan, and Liz consoles Jonathan, saying he will be fine soon. Daniel inquires from his friend whether Jonathan's shoes fit him or not. He also discloses his doubts regarding his wife, but she thinks Daniel has gone mad. The next morning, Daniel's phone disappears, and he suspects Liz is behind it. He tells Liz to get out of his house, but she refuses to leave and shares her worst experiences on the island. She tells Daniel strange stories about her survival on the island, including how she had to eat animals to stay alive and face hunger. During a traffic stop, Daniel pulls over a couple and makes them come out of their car. He asks the girl to take out her phone, claiming it to be his. When her boyfriend tries to intervene and sort out the problem, Daniel shoots him accidentally. In his panic, he starts licking the man's blood and asks for forgiveness for his actions. Daniel is taken to the hospital, where doctors ask him many questions and declare he is perfectly fine but suggest that he rest for a few days because of the stress. Arriving home, Daniel refuses to eat anything because he believes Liz is not his wife. Liz, worried about his health, meets his father. But his father calls her a monster, which infuriates Liz, and she slaps him. Liz later shares a cryptic dream with her father, George, about being nurtured by dogs on the island, revealing the twisted epiphany she experienced while stranded. The couple's life spirals deeper into madness, with Daniel even requesting Liz to sever and cook her thumb. Liz, who loves Daniel deeply, has no choice but to chop off her thumb. After doing this, she faints, and when she regains consciousness, she cooks for him. But Daniel doesn't eat it and instead feeds it to his cat. On the other hand, when the doctor arrives, Daniel explains that his wife has gone mad because she served him her thumb to eat. He also says that she has beaten herself, and he has no idea what she is doing it for. Despite this, Liz is in front of the doctor and explains that her husband is behind this mess. Still, she doesn't blame him and admits it was her mistake because she was arguing with him. When Liz is in a terrible condition, Daniel again approaches her and asks her to serve her liver, leg, or any organ she wants to feed him. Liz, who is obsessed with Daniel's love, takes out her liver and takes her last breath. In a shocking twist, Daniel believes another woman at his door is the real Liz, leaving him cradling this new version while the mutilated Liz lies dead. The third story opens with Emily and Andrew bringing the body of R.M.F to a young woman named Anna, hoping she can revive him with a touch. She tries to wake him, but she fails. They conclude she is not the one they are searching for. Emily knows this girl can't be the leader of the cult. Emily recalls her dream about a drowning experience when she was saved by an experienced swimmer, whom she now believes is the key to their cult's prophecy. This swimmer didn't look like Anna, so she was sure. Later, Emily goes to watch her family and leave shoes for her daughter. But she doesn't meet her because she believes it will get her kicked out of the cult. The final story delves into a bizarre cult led by Omi and his wife aka, who believe in sweating out toxins that aka then licks off to determine purity. As Emily and Andrew continue their search, a waitress named Rebecca overhears their conversation and claims her twin sister Ruth is the woman they are looking for. However, the cult's prophecy dictates that one of the twins must be dead for the chosen one to emerge, complicating their quest. Andrew doesn't trust her, but Emily feels her face is identical to the swimmer. However, Andrew refuses because Rebecca is alive. Meanwhile, Emily again goes to her house and leaves the gift there. But this time, she encounters her husband and daughter. Her daughter is pleased to meet her and invites her for dinner, but she makes a lame excuse and runs away. Reaching the hotel, she realizes Andrew has a fever. When she goes to get medicine, she meets her husband Joseph, who reveals their little one has a sprain on her leg and invites her home. After giving Andrew medicine, Emily goes to see her daughter. Emily's personal life is also fraught with darkness. Her husband Joseph drugs and assaults her, leaving her to seek solace in the cult. AKA advises Emily to undergo their purification ritual again, but even after the gruesome process, AKA declares Emily still tainted and expels her from the cult. Determined to reclaim her place, Emily goes to great lengths to fulfill the cult's requirements, leading her to Rebecca's home. In a tragic turn, Emily convinces Rebecca to jump into an empty pool, killing herself, which allows Emily to finally connect with Ruth. With Rebecca dead, Emily makes a stray dog her pet and injures it. After doing this, she takes the dog to Ruth, who gives it medicine, and it recovers. Emily sets the dog free because it is no longer needed. She visits Ruth again and drugs her. Emily drags her to R.M.F's body in the morgue, successfully reviving him. In her elation, Emily performs a victory dance outside the morgue, ready to present Ruth to the cult as their new leader. However, as Emily drives back to the cult with Ruth, she becomes distracted and crashes the car. Ruth is flung through the windshield and dies, leaving Emily's twisted mission in ruins, along with the resurrected R.M.F., whose fate remains a chilling mystery.